Yo, what up, friends? The storybook ending went to Indiana, who completed an unforgettable, undefeated 16-0 season, beating Miami 27-21 in what was a great national championship as well. Turned out to be, at least, there at the end. Dirty Mojo, what are your thoughts? Your Miami Hurricanes went down finally.
Yeah, look, man, I think this game came down to special teams, man. I don't want to put a lot of blame on Carson Beck. Carson Beck didn't play bad, but he didn't blow up the scoreboards. A missed field goal and a blocked punt for a touchdown. I mean, that's a 10-point swing right there. Think about those. If you get those, you know what I'm saying, you're winning this game by 10 points. It's 21 to basically what? I'm sorry, 24 to 20. That just can't happen. I don't really want to put so much in on Beck because Beck didn't play a bad game. I mean, his only interception was the interception, the last basically play of the game. He had better numbers than Mendoza did. You know what I'm saying? I think that Miami defense came out there. They had a game plan for Indiana. They executed on their game plan. Fantastic game if you look at it all the way around. The thing that stood out, though, was that Indiana had a better special teams. Their special teams played better. From their field goal kicker kicking long field goals, from them blocking that punt. I mean, you can't have that happen in a national championship game. At this point of the game, the guy ran right by him. I think he hit him off the side of the shoulder, blocked the punt. You can't have that type of stuff. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think it was a fantastic game. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that went to the game got their money's worth. I mean, it came down to basically the last thing. And I actually thought they were going to pull it off. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were sitting there saying Carson Beck's going to go down just like he did against Ole Miss and pull this game off. I don't want to take away too much from Indiana because, it was a fantastic 16-0 season. I'm just a little skeptical on how they're going to look next year. And if a lot of people are going to be betting some money, I'm not sure if you want to put your money in in the baskets for the Indiana team next year. What do you think, Dion?
Well, I thought this game, I predicted this game in my mind after the fact, and it went the way I wanted to go after I saw how it played out. I feel like, as I mentioned before, Indiana's just a better coach team because they're grown men. You look at the average age of that team, it's like 22 to 38. So these are adults. They're not the young kids.
I had a tryout.
Yeah, pretty much what I drove you there. And you have to be great on all facts of the game, all three, offense, defense, and special teams. And their special teams was superior. I'll say this about Beck. Beck, to me, he's kind of like a game manager to where he's not going to do anything overly crazy to win you the game. Unlike the Ole Miss, when he had that run to solidify that win. But they needed him to be that guy. And Mendoza, that drive when he got hit and then turned around, then boom, got into the end zone. Now it's the same guy that knocked him out the game when he played for Cal, when he played against Miami, I think a year or 2 years prior, the same person that hit him. So it's crazy how that goes full circle. But, Mendoza did what had to be done, and their special teams got them that win. And, I mean, shit, this is Indiana we're talking about here. And this doesn't happen unless you're playing NCAA football 2001. So props to them.
I actually heard a funny stat. I don't know, not a stat, but a little nugget, man. I don't know how true this nugget is, but the young man that caught the interception to seal the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Apparently, his uncle was the guy for Miami.
I think I sent that to you on Instagram.
Did you send that to me?
Yeah, I sent it to you on Instagram.
Is it true? That's a fucking amazing. I like that type of parallel universe, man. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, man. You might have said that to me, Dion, but that's
pretty awesome,
man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to talk about full circle and, history and symmetry and all the things that came with this storyline title. Again, no one really expected this. You had that great play by Fernando Mendoza spinning and diving into the end zone. And yes, you had, awesome. And yes, yeah, it was a great play. And yes, you did have that interception. And I'm glad you brought that up, Lamar, because I was just about to talk about that. And history does come full circle. Jamari Sharp is Glenn Sharp's nephew. Glenn Sharp was flagged for a very late but not necessarily incorrect pass interference. It was late in the 2002 national title game against The Ohio State University in the first of two overtimes. The Buckeyes would win in double OT. Miami has spent the past 23 years trying to get back to the national championship since then. And when they do, as was mentioned serendipitously, Jamari Sharp, the nephew of Glenn Sharp, provided that last interception to seal the game over Carson Beck. Peach, how did you feel about the game?
It was what we've been saying for weeks, guys. Indiana, they're not the greatest at anything, but they're the best at everything, right? We said that. They're the best in college football at all three phases. And what won them this game? Like Lamar and like Dion said, special teams did. And they're a team that you cannot make mistakes against. And unfortunately for Miami, they had the two huge mistakes, missing the kicks, giving up the punt return. And that's what sealed the deal. Mendoza did his thing, made the play when he needed to make it. That's what he's been doing all year long. That's why he's going to be the number one pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. And I know how Omar feels about that, but that's why he's going to get that pick, be the number one pick, guys.
That field goal kicker for Miami is the same field goal kicker that missed, was it 2 or 3 against Mississippi State? Texas. Who they played in the first round? I'm sorry, it was Texas A&M, right?
A&M.
Yeah,
I think it's A&M.
Yeah. He missed 2 or 3, and then he missed one against Ohio State. I don't know what he did against Ole Miss, but man, that has to suck. I mean, he played badly, and you think about it, you nailed that one right there. Guess what? All you have to do is get in field goal range to kind of send it into overtime. It's not so much of a pressing thing, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately,
and that term you can use it now. That term for college players now. You got one job. We pay you for one reason, and they get paid now in college. So you can say that to him. You go to Miami, you getting they're cheating and giving kids from Duke, the quarterback of Duke, $8 million to come play with us. So hey, I don't know how much they paying them, but yeah, there's a lot of college stuff, a lot of NIL stuff we got to talk about too. That's kind of crazy.
And Lamar, you hit the nail on the head. They're not going to be the same team next year, but that's going to be college football from now on with, with everybody being able to leave whenever they want. There's going to be the 1-year wonder teams and the great teams like this that come out of nowhere. But I think that makes it awesome too at the same time, because if you have a team that's not really a big football superpower, there are chances to win the national championship now.
Yeah. If we start talking about the NIL, I really don't. I don't know how things are going to rock and roll, right? I don't know if there are going to be the super teams just from people transferring around. I still think that I still think the teams that are the best teams that do the best recruiting are going to be the better teams. Yeah, you might have that one team.
You're going to have blue bloods.
Get an NIL guy, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like you look what happened with the kid from Clemson. He went from UCLA to Clemson to this. That shit is crazy as fuck to me. Man. I think you sent me another one, Dion. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, these guys right here, it almost feels as if you're, a lot of people want to down the SEC, but it almost feels like you're paying to win. When these other schools didn't have to do that, they were winning because they had the best team, the best players. I still think teams are going to have the best teams based off of their recruiting. And if you're a great recruiter, you're going to have a really good team. So I wouldn't put too much into like another style of Indiana. That was just like a big time, win for them, because the JMU team that left they were a good team that left and went to Indiana. A lot of those players, because if I remember this clearly, they had only lost one game that year, right? And then he went to Indiana, and the guys went with them, so they were a good fucking team.
My motto was always, well-coached team will always beat athletic kids.
Oh yeah,
just if you're well-coached, you're going to beat the athletic folks. Just how it is.
You are. You definitely are.
Well, you talked about the payment, NIL and payments to players, and we talked about parity and how that's happening now, because you do have schools that do. I mean, a lot of these universities, including the private ones, have billions of dollars that they can spend if they really wanted to. Now that they're in the era where they can, then yeah, they're going to. And when you look at a team like Indiana, Mark Cuban is their one of their main benefactors. And I mean, shit, if he's starting to put money into it, who's to say they can't buy whoever they want, right? And so symmetrically as well, one last point about this undefeated title comes 50 years after Bob Knight led the basketball team to a 32-0 undefeated title season. So there you go for full circle history.
Subscribe on YouTube at Ball and Buds for sports and entertainment.